Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Oh my gosh, it is already late in the day. It is 4:37 p.m. And this is the first video that I'm making today. And I think this might be the only video that I make today. I went inside and I just put this coat on because it's kind of windy. And then I came back out here and I'm like, I don't think that I need this coat because it's like 60 something today. But with the wind, it was kind of a little chilly out here. Let's see what the temperature is. I haven't even looked today. Oh, it says it's 62 degrees right now. 62 degrees, but can you hear the wind? It's so windy, and I was out on the street and I was talking to my neighbor. It's been kind of a strange day in the neighborhood. Well, first of all, I got up and I slept so deep last night. And when I got up, Alex was up and he was watching something on TV downstairs, and he had heated up some food because a couple nights ago he had ordered some Thai food, and so he was heating up some fried rice. And then I got up and I was doing some stuff, and then he was going back upstairs, and I said, what are you doing? He was like, I'm going back to sleep, I'm so tired. I was like, you're so tired? He's like, yeah, I'm so tired. And he was like, I'm gonna take a little bit of a nap before I go to dinner tonight, because Alex is going out to dinner tonight with some girlfriends. And I was like, okay. So then I came out here and I heard all these like fire engines. They were like going over there, and I don't know what was going on, but they finally came back around this way. And then I was, my neighbors were walking by, people that I call my favorite neighbors, with their dog. And so I went out and I was talking to them. We were talking about different true crime shows. She was telling me about the book that they're reading in her book club. And then he was telling me about some of his favorite shows. I was telling him about this documentary that I watched last night that people had recommended to me over here that I watched. I'll tell you guys about that in a second. I was recommending it to him. And then when we were looking down, there was like glass in the road going from like in front of like my neighbor's mailbox, but like a little bit farther down, and it was like going down the middle of the road. It looked like somebody had like had a bag and they were like dragging like little bits of pieces of glass. Well, their dog was like looking at it, and I was like telling the dog to get, I was like, don't look at, not look at the glass, but I didn't want him like picking it up and eating it and stuff like that. And it was so strange. I don't know if it's from like when they picked up the trash or what happened, because she paints a lot, and like as a painter, like just painting the house. And she, and some of her tubes, that like empty tubes of paint were in like down there. Every once in a while, like, it only ever happens like to us, like if it's like a pizza box or something like that, that it won't make it into like, when they, because it's not like actual, guys that are like picking up the trash and putting it in the trash truck anymore. It's like this machine that like picks it up and puts it over there. And so sometimes I've noticed with other people, like we put everything in a bag and like tie it up. So I think that's probably why. But anyway, so I stood there in the street and just with my hand, I like went through and I was like picking up all these little pieces of glass, because I mean, there's people that walk down the street, there's families with their kids, their dogs. I mean, this neighbor, she was like, well, I hope like no little dogs get their little paws in it. They weren't that small, but they were small enough that if you had a big dog, a big dog like Boo Radley, like, I mean, if he stepped on it, it wouldn't go into his paw probably, but he never goes down there anyway. So, but I stood there and talked to them, and I was picking up all this glass in my hand, and then they left, and then I kept on picking it up. I think I got most of it, so I should have probably just got a broom. I don't know why I didn't think about that until right now. It is so windy outside. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but like the trees are bending and everything. This is actually, I don't know why this weather reminds me more of April than it does of March in Indiana. This is like real April weather, like lots of rain, lots of windiness. Is it supposed to rain tonight? Tanya said it was supposed to rain last night and it never rained. What is the weather supposed to be like today? I know tomorrow it's supposed to be a lot colder. I think a lot of people are going out tonight for St. Patrick's Day, which is tomorrow. Because my neighbor said something about St. Patrick's Day. And then I was like, are you guys, she was like, no, we're not doing anything for it. I was like, yeah, I never do anything for it. Okay, today it is, what did I say it was, 62? And then tonight it's supposed to be 35, cloudy early, becoming mostly clear after midnight. And then tomorrow it's supposed to be a high of 46. And then Monday, a high of 39. Oh my God, it's going to be so cold on Monday. And then it gets back into the 50s. And then all next week it's in the 50s. And then Monday the 25th it's 64. So between the 40, and then it goes back down to the 48. It goes 48, 56, 53, 48, 53, 58. Anyway, very typical March weather for Indianapolis. So anyway, I was out here and then doing all that, and then Alex is taking like the world's longest nap today. So I went upstairs and I was like just like laying in bed talking to Boo Radley, and I fell asleep for like another hour and a half. I woke up and I looked at the clock. I was like, oh my god, I was gonna film videos and stuff today. But then I woke up and I was like, you know what, I have filmed a lot of videos this week. Like 2 days I filmed like videos on every one of my channels. I was like, I am just gonna film my vlog today and then take the rest of the day off and watch some shows and stuff. I'm almost caught up on all of my shows. So we didn't watch RuPaul's Drag Race last night. Alex was too tired. So we're gonna watch it tomorrow night, because tonight he's going out with his girlfriends and stuff like that. I don't know what I'm gonna watch tonight. Well, let's get into my notes, my weekly TV. So last night I watched, Alex was watching Shameless, and he was like, oh, it was too early. That's why we didn't watch RuPaul's Drag Race last night. It was too early to watch, because it doesn't come on until 9, and we had no other shows to watch. And so he was like, do you, is there something that you want to put on the TV? And I was like, well, unless you want to watch a movie together or something until RuPaul comes on. And he was like, well, I'm really, really tired. And I said, okay. I said, and he was watching Shameless. So I said, just keep on watching Shameless. And so I sat on the couch with my iPad and my AirPods, and I watched RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World, because he's not watching that. And then I was like halfway through that, and I'm like totally forgetting last night. I slept so deep last night. I was like almost done with it, and he went upstairs and he was like, I'm going to bed, I'm too tired. And I was like, you don't want to watch, it was really early, and I was like, you don't want to watch RuPaul tonight? And he was like, no, I'm so tired. And I was like, okay. So then I finished RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World, and I got done with that at like, I looked at my phone, and it was like, it wasn't even 10 after 8, it was like 7 after 8 or 8 after 8 or something like that. And so I went upstairs, because he had left, like, he had gone upstairs like a half an hour before, and I thought, and you know, on the weekends he'll sleep a little bit more and stuff like that. And I thought, well, if he's still up, then maybe he'll want to watch it. And so I went upstairs, and he was like out. So I was like, well, I'm going to lay down for a little bit. So then I lay down for a little bit, and I got a good nap last night, and then I got up, and I watched last night, I finished The Amazing Race last night. I really liked this season, but, and I'm not going to say any names, because then, well, I am starting to know people's names just after one episode, which is weird. There are, like, to be honest with you, so many gay people on this season of The Amazing Race. Did anybody else notice that? There's, like, a gay couple. There's, like, a lesbian couple. There's, like, 2 friends. I mean, there's a lot of, like, gay people, which is great. There's LGBTQIA plus representation. And I think there always has been, like, on The Amazing Race. They've always had, like, at least, like, one gay couple and, you know, stuff like that. But I like all the people that are competing. So yeah, I have a couple of favorites already, but I have to tell you, like, one of my favorites, I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but the first people that get eliminated were my favorites, partly because they just, like, always wanted to be on the show. Like, they had always dreamed of being on The Amazing Race and stuff like that. And so, it's so funny, like, with this jacket on, I'm like, I keep on thinking, should I take it off? I think without it, it's gonna be, like, too cold with the wind, but with it, it's just, like, almost a little bit too warm. What is all that? So anyway, but the first team that's eliminated, and they're, like, it makes me so sad, because, you know, like, everybody is, like, well, I don't know, I've only now watched this is my second season. I used to watch it years ago. My ex and I used to buy, before you could stream stuff, I've talked about this on here before, before you could, like, stream stuff online, we would go to, like, Best Buy on, like, a Saturday night, because both of us worked Tuesday through Saturday, and we would, like, buy a box set of a show, and then we would, like, binge watch that show over the weekend. That's actually how we got started watching Lost. I think we started watching Lost on, like, the 3rd or 4th season. I think the 4th season. I think we binge watched the first 3 seasons. But typically we wouldn't get, like, drama shows. I remember we bought Heroes, and we never watched that one. I don't know why I always remember that, because I think I kept it from, like, apartment move to apartment here or there, you know, whatever. And then, no, because that was the last apartment that I lived in. So I think I just kept on boxing it up and moving it from, like, you know, around the apartment, then here and whatever. And I think I finally got rid of it and donated it. But we used to buy reality shows, and there were only certain reality shows that you could buy, like, the whole season on DVD. Do you guys remember, like, you could get a whole season of a show on DVD? I still have several of them. I have, like, well, now I'm, like, since I'm going through the DVDs, I'm having to, like, get rid of a lot of them, but, like, there are a couple that I'll always keep, like Popular. I loved that show back in the day. Do you guys remember that Popular? With, it was about cheerleader, it was about popular people, and it was about somebody's, I mean, if I sat here and thought about it long enough, I could probably remember it, but it's like somebody's mom and dad get married and they become step-siblings, and it's like the most popular girl with like the least popular girl, and they become sisters or something like that. Do you remember that? But the one girl that's in it, she ended up being married or partners with Melissa Etheridge. And she was one of the cheerleaders, and she was hilarious on the show. I loved that show so much. It was kind of like Glee without the music, a little bit. But, like, the humor was, like, even darker than that. Like, the humor was really great. The girl, there was this movie that came out years and years and years ago, and it was called, if you've seen this movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's so good. It's called, like, Gypsy 87 or something, and it's with, the main star is with the girl in that. And she's, like, in love with Stevie Nicks. And so she wants to, like, go on the road to, like, find her mother. And so her best friend, they live in a small town. She always has, like, wears these shawls, like Stevie Nicks and stuff, like, in the movie. And she does this one thing, I'll never forget, she does this one thing, she's like, they ask her questions, she goes, well, that's why I always do that in videos. But anyway, nothing that I do is original, it's all picked up from someplace. But anyway, her best friend is this guy, this gay guy, and that's probably why I related to it so much, because it reminded me of my friend, that she was the one that I went to kindergarten, elementary, junior high, high school, and college. She kind of, like, looks like her a lot in the face. And so they decided to go on this road trip, I think to find her birth mom. Like, she runs away from home, and then they go to this New York City, and they go to this, like, night of 1,000 Stevies, and, like, he falls in love with this, like, Amish guy along the way. Do you guys remember this movie? It was fantastic. It was, like, just an independent movie. I should look it up and tell you guys what it's called. But the girl that was in that, she was in that movie Popular, Gypsy, I think it was called 87. If I remember, and that's what it's called, I'll die. Oh wait, Gypsy 83. Here it is. Gypsy, hold on a second. So this is the movie poster. This is the two of them on the cover of it. Do you guys want to hear what the synopsis is? Oh, Sarah Rue, that was her name. God, I loved her. Gypsy, Sarah Rue, a 20-something outcast living in small-town Ohio, has long believed that her mother chose her dream of becoming a singer. She thinks her mom's Stevie Nicks, I think. Of her own family. One day, her friend Clive Ketterton, a fellow goth, reads about a tribute event dedicated to Gypsy's personal hero, Stevie Nicks, which is scheduled to take place. Maybe she doesn't think her mom is Stevie Nicks. I can't remember. I haven't watched this movie in forever. I should watch it tonight. Stevie Nicks, which is scheduled to take place in New York City. They hit the road in hopes of performing for the show, thereby getting their foot in the door of the city's music scene. But there are bumps along the way. It's so good. There's like a... Who is in it? There's like a cameo by somebody famous in it. Well, I can't remember who it is. It is such a good movie, though. Gypsy 83. Here, let me look and see where you can watch it. It's got to be streaming somewhere. I looked up, like, all these... I was, like, really in the mood to watch a recovery movie last night after, like, my conversation on here yesterday. And, oh, you can watch it on Tubi for free. Do you guys have Tubi? So the app Tubi is so fantastic. And... do I not have it on my phone? Oh, they have a new thing. It's purple now. This is Tubi opening up. But Tubi's free. You don't have to pay to download it. It just has ads on it. So you can look up everything, anything. And they have so many things on here. You can watch live TV on here and stuff. I highly recommend Tubi. No, this is not sponsored. I don't even know how I found it. I think I downloaded it because something that I wanted to watch was on there. But anyway, what was I talking about that? I was talking about Popular, that show that I used to watch back in the day. I would have to rewind this to find out what I was talking about. It doesn't even really matter. I was talking about something that I was watching. Amazing Race. How did I get talking about that show? Oh, DVDs that I'm going to keep. Okay, so I have, like... what is going on? How do I get out of this? So... like, Absolutely Fabulous. I have all the seasons of that I'm going to keep. The Anna Nicole Show I'm going to keep. A lot of the ones that I think will go out of print or that you won't be able to stream anywhere, I'm going to keep those. But, like, I have a lot of TV show series from back in the day. Lost, I'll probably keep, because I think I have all those. Well, no, I don't. I don't have the last ones that I watched on TV, so maybe I'll get rid of those. But the Love Boats, I'll keep all the Love Boats. All the Fantasy Islands, Heart to Heart. All the shows I grew up in as a kid. Because sometimes you can, like, stream one on YouTube, but, like, to just watch them, like, in a row, you know? The only DVD player that we have, though, now is in our bedroom, and we, like, never use it. But once I get the bedroom, the basement set up, it was interesting because I was looking at this comment. I didn't even see this video. This comment was from, like, a video. Let me turn down the volume on my phone so I can go in here. I'm going to address some comments in a second because some people were like, I'm trying to, like, be better about commenting on the vlogs. If you guys have well, on all my channels. But somebody left this comment. Hold on a second. Somebody left a comment about me redoing the basement. This was like 4 days ago. I don't know how I didn't see this comment. And there were like 8 comments on it about what people... Oh, no, I know what it was. It was a comment that you know what? I can go in here to the Creator app. Because I responded to the comment because I think it was Kayla. And Kayla was asking if I was going to... I would show the basement before it was all done. And I have like a few pictures. I like looked at my phone. They're not good pictures. I need to go down there today and actually take some more pictures. Because people were saying they wanted to see like the before and the after of the basement, which I totally understand. In all honesty, the before is so embarrassing, you guys. Like, I mean, it literally, like, I showed Nikki, and Nikki was like, I don't think it's as bad as you think it is. But, like, for me, it looked like, I mean, you could walk through it and stuff. I mean, it was like an organized, well, I mean, parts of it were not an organized mess. But, I mean, it's very half of it is completely, like, cleaned out now. So, but for me, it was, like, kind of horror central back in the day. So, to, like, take you guys down here and be like, yeah, and these are my mom's, you know, Betamax movies from 1976. Like, no, like, it's embarrassing. Like, and so I just needed to, like, throw all that stuff out. But obviously, I'll show you the basement when it's done. But what was this a comment? Because people were, like, saying what they wanted me to do with the basement, and it was so cute because it was like what people imagine that I'm going to do with the basement versus like what I have plans for the basement. And I think it was Kayla actually that kind of has her idea, like what she thinks is like what it was like from 4 days ago. Hold on a second. Oh, here it is. So Kayla said, I wish you were documenting the progress in the basement. Like, it would be so cool to see if the transformation, whether it be before and after photos or vlogging while working, that would be so awesome to follow along. And then somebody said, I was just thinking the same thing. I love videos like that. And I responded and I said, I have before pictures. I'll be sharing them when it's done. They're not great, though. I think the memory part of the basement, which is really the only part that still needs to be cleaned, I think if I took pictures of that, like, it would give you guys an idea of how bad it was. I mean, it was like box on top of box and stuff like that. It was... Anyway, and then somebody said, I've been thinking the same thing. This is so great to hear. Somebody said, that's a great idea. Somebody said, definitely looking forward to the basement reveal as well. There's an old house tour vlog up from Peter to keep you going in the meantime. Somebody said, can't wait. He has so much stress relief to have it done. I am like so happy to be done with that basement. I'm kind of surprised I'm as far done as I am, if you want to know the truth. I really didn't think I'd be able to get, it kind of seemed overwhelming to me. It reminds me a little bit, to be honest with you, of weight loss. And maybe, you know, like... maybe that's kind of like what's inspiring it a little bit, you know, is the weight loss and getting healthier that I'm just kind of like shedding and getting rid of all this kind of stuff as well. I don't know, that could be part of it. Maybe I'm just looking for a reason, I don't know. Somebody said, wouldn't it be great to turn the basement into a movie theater type environment? Put a big screen TV, small fridge, and comfy stuff. So that's kind of like my cousin's basement. Like, her basement's about the same size as our basement. Well, it's a little bit bigger. So she has like a big L-shaped couch and then a big screen TV. It's very comfortable down there. But then like David has his like drum set. Like he has it all like padded like on the walls. Their basement's really nice. And then they have like an office area, and then they have like a bathroom that Caroline redid and have put down in there because David stays down there a lot and his friends are over there and stuff like that. Well, when she had it redone, they were. And then that part goes into like a storage part of the basement. So, and then Kayla said, in my mind, I want it to be his own spaces where he doesn't have to go outside because is home, or Alex is home. Doesn't have to be quiet because he's sleeping and whatever. I want him to be able to vlog there, make drama videos, watch shows, work out, whatever else. Maybe have a corner for exercise gear and one for his desk, a projector for relaxing at night, or just a big TV, and new nice and cozy furniture, like a whole vibe. So, okay, that is kind of similar to what we're planning to do. So, when you go to the basement now, there's one door, and when you go to it, it's like the washer and dryer right to the right. And we saw like a redo on a basement down here. It's a pretty big basement. I mean, it runs the length of the condo. And so then the water heater and the heater and stuff are like right in the middle. And then the rest of it is just this wide open space. So what we're planning on doing is now when you come down the stairs go like this, landing, and then they go down like this. And that's the door that leads into the bathroom, okay? So what we're planning on doing is shutting off that like landing, okay, where you'll just walk into the basement. So you'll go down one thing and then off the landing we'll just walk. It'll just be open and you'll just walk into the basement. It won't be like a closed door or anything like that, we don't think. And then where the washing machine is now, because that's all outfitted to like you can have a shower in there or whatever, we're gonna have that turned into two spaces. One will be the washing machine with a separate door, washing area. One will be a separate bathroom with a shower and a toilet and sink and all that kind of stuff like Caroline says. Then the rest of it, like the major part of it, is where we're gonna have like an L-shaped couch and things like that. There's like this chair that you can get from IKEA that I've seen that's like this big oversized chair, but it will also like pull out and be like a twin bed. So we want to get that, like something like that down there too, that's like not as heavy, because we have an L-shaped couch down there that has a pull out bed and it is like so heavy. So all that's gonna go. The furniture and stuff down there is so old, there's like not really anything I'm gonna keep. One corner will be dedicated to having like a studio, like not like a legit studio, but just like a chair and a ring light and things like that. So if I want to film a vlog, if I want to do whatever, I can go down there, I can sit on the couch and film a vlog. It'll be very much like the house is now. And then we also want to have an area where we're going to have built-in cabinets for storage down there so that we can like put like our suitcases and the Halloween stuff and the Christmas stuff. So that'll be like actually up in cabinets, like closed. And then the rest of, like, one corner I want to have, I don't want to have an exercise bike, no offense, but that's just, I know my friend Mel loves her exercise bike, I have friends that love them, but I just don't love them exercise bike, but I would like to get either, like, a Peloton or, like, a treadmill or something down there for the winter, and then, and just have, like, a free weight set. Like, we don't need more than that, but yeah, and then just keep it very simple down there. And then, like, the clothes, until we get that part done, because I mean, we've got to save some money, and to get all that stuff done, that's a big outtake, and we don't have, the money right now to have all that done, and it's not clean. I want to get some hanging clothes racks and, like, really go through the clothes and stuff like that down there. Well, I have two things. Alex has some clothes down there, but I want to go back through the clothes in my closet again. I'm trying to just, like, strip it down. Like, I mean, if I haven't worn stuff, like, I need to get rid of it. I have a really hard time with t-shirts on getting rid of stuff. So, Kayla's actually kind of, like, her idea is very similar to kind of our idea. But, like, it's funny because I think at night, like, Alex will probably be the one that goes down, like, when I'm, like, out here or, like, talking on the phone or whatever. He's probably the one that would go down there on the couch and, like, just turn on the big screen. He watches TV more. I am, like, more of an iPad person. Even when I don't have to be. Like, I used to always, like, when I was, like, filming and stuff, I'd have, like, a movie on in the background and I'd just mute it. Like, even now I don't do that. If I watch shows, I typically, like, I would say, unless I'm watching them with Alex, I, like, 95% of the time watch them on the iPad. Well, probably even 99%. Like, I hardly ever turn the TV on. Like, ever. Unless Alex and I are watching shows together. So if we had, like, a big screen TV down there or something like that, he'd probably be the one to go down there and watch it. But yeah, it would be great. The reason we have to do that first, before we do the rest of the redo in the house, is I have to be able to have a place to, like, be able to, like, shower, get ready for the day, work, that's silent. Our basement is, like, you can be in the basement and you can scream and you cannot hear it on the next floor because it's underground. I mean, it's like a basement. So, I'm just saying that because I know a lot of people don't have basements, but it's, like, under the ground. So, but we haven't decided yet if we're going to have a door going down the landing or if we're not, whatever. But it would be very quiet. Like, Alex could be upstairs and he could be sleeping and I could be down there. I could be filming videos and screaming and yelling and he would never hear it down there. So, and it would leave more living space for us. And also we could have people come and stay and we could, like, host, you know, like, Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter or something like that. So, yeah, so I'm excited about that. But the cleaning out of it is definitely the first part that has to happen. Okay, so last night I watched, what was I talking about? Last night I watched The Amazing Race. Yeah, the people that, oh, here comes one of my favorite people. Hey, how are you? So nice, isn't it? The people that got kicked off last night, or this week, I watched it last night, but it was on, what, Wednesday or something? They were, like, one of my favorite groups because they wanted to be on this show, like, their whole life. And they're so sweet. Like, the people are always so nice. Caroline wants to do The Amazing Race. Caroline's like, Peter, we really need to sign up for The Amazing Race. Like, I think we could do good. I think we would be kicked off first. Well, not kicked off, but I think we would be eliminated first. But Caroline is she's so dying to do The Amazing Race. She's like, we're cousins. She was like, people think we're so funny together. She was like, I think it would be so much fun. We would have such a good time. And I'm like, okay, here's the thing. People have, like, for years told me I should go on Big Brother because I love Big Brother, right? Even though I didn't watch it for a couple of years. But people for years have been like, you should go on Big Brother. But if you make it to the end of Big Brother, it's 3 months. I don't want to be gone from Big Brother 3 months. Survivor is 26 days, okay? Well, a lot of the stuff that you have to do, I mean, I've thought about this reality TV stuff. I mean, I'm getting to the age that, like, you're either going to do it or it's never going to happen. I'm 51, right? I'm going to be 52 here in, like, 2 or 3 months. So, it's like, you're either going to do this stuff and now's the time. I mean, on The Amazing Race, there are a lot of people that are my age and 10 years older, or even older than that. This one girl and her dad's probably got to be, like, 70, 75. So, and it's keeping up and is in good shape, you know? Survivor, there are older people that go on it. Big Brother, there are, but they usually get eliminated first. Well, this season, Miss Felicia was on there. Suri Fields, I think Suri and I are about the same age. I don't know how old Suri Fields is. Hold on a second. Suri Fields, how old is she? Yeah, she's 53, and I'll be 52. Oh, we're both Cancers. She's July 18th, 1970. Oh, she's exactly... Well, how is she 53 if she's 1970 and I'm 1970? Oh, I'm 51. That's right, 2 years. I love her so much. Oh, here she is with short hair. Let's show a picture of her with short hair. Oh, this is new. Sri has short hair now? What is this? Or does she have it, like, back in a ponytail? I can't tell. I love her so much. So, I don't know. I would do Survivor. Here's the thing. Like, I do think about these things, right? I should call this one. Everybody would watch it. I'm going on a reality show. Should I title this video that? I come up with the silliest titles for the last 24 hours. Ooh, so excited. I'm going to call it. I'm going on a reality show. Check it out. They'll turn around and they'll be like, Peter claims he's going on a reality show. Give them fodder for their hate. What did somebody send me the other day, this meme, that I thought it was so funny that they sent it to me. I have all these recovery movies that I screenshot. Where is this meme? Somebody said. They sent me this. I'm not cleaning up a single rumor about me. I don't give a fuck what you heard. Go hear it again. Oh my god, why do I love that so much? Okay. But anyway, so Survivor I would go on, but sharks. Like, you have to swim in water a lot. And I don't like bugs and stuff like that. But I think I could do Survivor. I just would like, I'm like that person that would, like, look for 2 seconds for an immunity idol and then I would get bored. Plus, like, they get their fingernails so dirty and stuff like that. I think it would kind of freak me out. Back in the day, like, I wanted to go on Survivor so bad. But, okay, Survivor's only, like, 26 or 27 days. So I could be gone from Alex and Boo that long now, right? But I don't think that 90 days I could go and be gone that long. Oh, look at that dog, it's so cute. And then The Amazing Race is like, I mean, it could be one day that you're gone, right? So I think I could totally do The Amazing Race. The thing is that Caroline would have to do all like the swinging, you know, do the bungee jumping. There's no way I couldn't do any of that kind of stuff. So anyway, I don't think we'll do The Amazing Race. I think a game show would be more fun, don't you? We used to call them quiz shows back in the day. Do you guys remember that? Am I already at a half an hour? Oh my god, I've got like 15 seconds left. Oh well. But do you remember when we used to call them quiz shows back in the day? Game shows or quiz shows? I had the weirdest dreams last night, you guys know. No true story, I did. I don't know what it is about... Camera stopped. I don't know what it is about... I think it must be that medicine. Because I didn't take the medicine for like a night or two. And then I took it last night. Although I had weird dreams on the nights that I didn't. I had weird dreams the night that I just took a nap, didn't I? So that's not the medicine. And I didn't eat. My friend Valerie's always like, well, did you eat right before you went to bed? No, I didn't eat anything right before I went to bed last night. But I had real weird dreams. I don't remember them though now. But I remember they were real weird. I feel like I was on like some kind of show, like The Amazing Race or something like that. Because when I said quiz show, or was on like a game show or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, so then after I got done watching The Amazing Race last night, I ended up watching... What did I end up watching? Oh, I went in and I watched an episode of Murder Under the Friday Night Lights so I could get caught up on season 3. I could start on season 3. So I was going back. There was 2 episodes that I didn't watch from season 2. So I went back and watched that. And then I was like... I like put some things on my Hulu list that I watched. Well, somebody had recommended it to me, I think, over here. And so I went and I was like, what was that show that somebody looked up? Because I knew I put it on my Hulu. I have like on all of my channels, I have like lists, you know, the watch list of things to watch. I was like, what was that show on Hulu that somebody told me to watch? Now, I already watched it, so I put it on my True Crime Watched. I now have a running list of all the true crime shows I've watched. I'm on 99. So I watched last night The Fire That Took Her. Somebody had recommended it to me over here. Okay, I was totally not into this documentary. I have to tell you, like when I started it, I feel like I wish I had some chapstick because my lips feel really dry. I'm not going to stop this and go inside for some chapstick, which I usually have some out here, like if I'm filming like a couple videos in a row. But I don't know why, like I wasn't really that interested in it. I think, you know, one of the reasons was for like what I talked about yesterday. There's like, I don't love watching, I mean, it kind of is threaded through a lot of true crime, but I just don't love like a lot that has to do with like domestic violence and things like that. It's just so sad to me. And in all honesty, I have a lot of friends of mine that have lived in those situations, and it's like, you know, taking an army to get them out of those situations and get them in safe environments and things like that. And so just to watch those stories just really breaks my heart. And so I knew that it was about that, but I didn't really know the whole thing, except for that somebody had said she was like the first person that got to testify at her own murder trial. And so that intrigued me because somebody had commented that on my, I think it was my vlog. So I was like, I don't even know like what this is about. There's my neighbor. I go to the pool with her and her husband. She's walking around her yard. I have not seen her. I mean, I've waved to her and stuff like that, but I haven't seen her since the pool closed. I cannot wait. Tia put on the comment. I'm going to talk about some comments in a second, but Tia commented and she said, it was such a cute comment. She was like, you can't, what'd she say? You can taste the pool or something like that. Don't you know not to drink pool water? What did she say? Tia's always trying to be so cute, isn't she? She said, you're so ready for the pool, you can taste it. Oh, that's why I said I'm so ready for the pool, I can taste it. She goes, don't you know you're not supposed to drink pool water? Then she put like laughing and crying emojis. Girl, you should do stand-up right now. You're ready for stand-up. Tia's so sweet. She's always sending me stuff. By the way, I'm going to talk about that in just a second, like where there's appropriate places to send drama commentary, or drama, if you guys have drama that you want me to cover, where to send that to. But anyway, so I watched this documentary last night. I don't want to ruin it for anybody that wants to watch true crime or likes to watch true crime, because I will say this is probably Well, it was very endearing and heartwarming, but it was also one of the most intriguing cases, and it was well filmed. Like, you know what I'm talking about when you watch like a documentary that's well filmed from one that isn't. Like, it really does make a difference sometimes. Although Goodnight Sugar Babe on YouTube, Nikki loved it too. Mel hated it because I had them watch it when we were out in Arizona. But Goodnight Sugar Babe, it looks like an amateur, like, college film that somebody filmed. But the story is so important to be told. And I loved that documentary. I thought it was good. I actually think on that one alone, the amateur aspect of it kind of added to it. So I started watching this, and it's about this woman. Well, there was addiction aspect to it, too. That piece was very interesting to me. So, because it was talking about the stigmatization of addiction, which is so true, and unless you are an addict or an alcoholic, sober or not sober, it's really, or like a family member that's really trying to get those people help, like, or unless you've worked with addicts or alcoholics, I don't think you really understand the stigma that you live. You know, I've been sober well, we'll get to that in just a second, but I was going to say I've been sober 29 years and I still face it. You know, when I go somewhere, if I go to a doctor's office and I say, like, they'll say, well, do you have any, like, allergies or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, I'm allergic to, like, habit-forming substances because I've been sober, you know, since 1994. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, I'm sober. I don't drink or, you know, use drugs. And they're like, they get real nervous. Now, I've had... That's usually not doctors as much as it is like the people that are like getting me like, you know, checked in or whatever. Interestingly enough, I think like in the last, I would say the last 10 years, it's gotten better because I think there's so many people that know people that are sober in recovery that when you say it, it's not such a surprising thing to them. But I mean, can you just imagine 1995? I mean, that was one of the first things that I was told to do by, like, my sponsor and people that were sober in recovery was, like, any doctor, dentist that you go to, they have to know that you're sober. Like, they have to know that, right? And you have to have it on your chart and things like that. And so I can remember, like, my very first dentist that I went to back then, because I went to her and then she was retired. Caroline and I both went to her because it was a family friend's daughter. And then I didn't go to a dentist for a long time, which is why I stopped taking care of my teeth. Don't do that. But she was very well versed in addiction. I can remember her one weekend, because forever they've wanted me to get my wisdom teeth taken out, and back then she was like, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. She was like, you're going to call me on a Saturday and they're going to push through, and she was like, you're going to be in so much pain, and she was like, and there's not going to be really anything that I can do for you, you know? That was before the whole kind of idea of, like, if you're prescribed pain medication as an addict or an alcoholic, that if you need it, you need it. And then you just have somebody else hold the medication for you and monitor it, which is what Alex did with my sponsor and talking to the doctors and things like that when I went through that the last time. And still it was hard. I mean, it was that, I mean, I talked about that, you know, but I can remember going to doctors back then and them just being very confused, like them not understanding. And even, like, I will tell you the worst is going to, like, emergency rooms and hospitals where you would think they would know the most about it because they see cases of overdoses and stuff. Like, I have gone through the years, through the 29 years that I've been sober, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to the emergency room with something where they're like, especially, like, in the last, like, 10 years I've shared this, where they're like, when did I go for? It was my back. And the woman was like, it was like a nurse practitioner. And she was, I mean, I told her I was sober. All this kind of, she was willing to, like, sign me prescriptions for whatever I wanted. I was, like, blown away. I was like, no, you're not getting this. Like, I can't take this stuff. Like, she didn't really get it. So it talks about the stigmatization of addiction. Because what happens in there is this woman's dating this guy, okay? And she's got 2 kids. And, she is, you find this out later, but she's on her way to treatment, to go to inpatient treatment. Partly because she's an addict in an abusive situation, and she wants to get away from him. And so, and the mother says this in there, and she's like, and I'm like thinking, I'm watching it, and I'm thinking, like, I think a lot of people watching this wouldn't think this was true, but she's like, she wants to get away from him and change her life, but she wants to be someplace safe. Like, you cannot come in and get to somebody if they're in a treatment program, and she's like, that was the safest place she could go. And I'm like, I have heard that story 100 times. Like, seriously? Like, there is so much truth to that story. When I was watching it, there's like this bug over here on my thing. I was like, that is so true. Like, I've known so many people that were, of course, you know, addicts and alcoholics, but they were also in really horrific situations that were unsafe. And so going to treatment, hey, how are you? You cooking out?
Pork tenderloin.
Oh, what's for the sides?
Roasted vegetables and stovetop stuffing.
That's your favorite, I know. Sounds good. He loves the stovetop stuffing. Stuffing does kind of sound good. Oh my God. I'm not giving up this healthcare journey, this weight loss health journey. I'm not giving it up. I love to eat. I mean, I eat in smaller proportions now, but I just love to eat. God, stuffing sounds so good. I don't know why too. I'm like a stovetop cheap stuffing person too. Like, I love all that. So anyway. So, they get in some fight. Like, he goes in to get her cigarettes or something at this gas station. They're behind the Speedway. I think it happens in Ohio. It's Ohio, because she goes to this University of Ohio hospital. They have it caught on video. They show the video in here, because it's like the ATM machine at this bank. So, they're fighting. Well, she throws this pop on him. And he says to her, oh, you want to know what it's like to have somebody throw something on you, like a drink? Because he gets wet from the pop. She throws a fountain pop on him, okay? Like, cup and all. He goes and gets a can of gasoline out of the back of his truck, his pickup truck, and he pours the gasoline all over her. She even says, they don't say this until they interview her. Like, I mean, this woman has had like 60, 70 surgeries, skin grafts. She doesn't look anything like she did before. Like, her kids don't recognize her. Her sister doesn't recognize her or anything. Her mother, it's so interesting when her mother sees her, because her mother says, I just saw her as my daughter. It's a beautifully done documentary. But she says in there that the gasoline got down her throat and it was burning her throat. He says that she asked for a cigarette. And so he went to go get his lighter to go light her cigarette. But she's talking about how her throat was burning from the gasoline, which would make sense. Well, he set her on fire. Set her on fire. 80% of her body was burned. 80%. She was in the hospital for 18 months before she passes away. So, anyway, but they, at one point, I mean, it's so much more than that. Like, I went into it, to be honest with you, watching it knowing that she was going to pass away, because there was no way they could use this testimony. I mean, it's just common sense when you're watching it. But what one of the prosecutors, he gets real close with her, and what he realizes is that, because it's called he has like, I mean, this guy has this aggravated assault, aggravated arson is what it's called. And it will only get you like 11 years plus 2 or something like that in the state of Ohio. So she like goes in to pass this law and stuff. But if it's murder, then he could get the death sentence. But I won't tell you what happens with all that, because I won't ruin that documentary for you on that. But anyway, because that was the one part that I was like waiting to see what was going to happen. But what they do is they know she's going to pass. And so they get some law passed so that, or the judge decides that they can enter her testimony. So they depose her while she's in the hospital. It is so gut-wrenching to watch this interview. And this guy, so she has all these drug problems because she had ovarian cancer. And so for the pain and the surgeries, she was on Oxycontin. And I think they show fentanyl, but I don't think she says fentanyl. Percocet. Oxycontin and Percocet. But then she gets addicted to it. This is what I'm talking about when I say, hey, how are you?
I'm fine.
It's beautiful, isn't it? How's Gideon doing?
He's doing good.
Aw, look at him.
How's Bo?
He's good. She always calls Boo Radley Bo. Half the neighborhood do. Half the neighborhood do. Listen to me sound of country. My neighbors, are they coming home or are they going somewhere? They're like pulling suitcases out. How are you? Good. Oh, look at her all cute walking in her UGG jacket. I've never seen her before in this neighborhood. I've never seen her before. He's shaking his head. Have you? You and I just standing out here seeing if we know anybody. You let Gideon go by and you didn't even give him any dog treats.
Who was that, Gideon?
Yeah.
I heard you call him. What a cool name that is.
Oh, I thought you always give him dog treats.
Gideon? I don't know Gideon.
Oh, you give Tiger dog treats?
Who?
Tiger?
I don't know Tiger.
Max?
Max?
You give Max dog treats.
Charlie? And
Lassie.
Lassie.
Yeah. Oh, that dog is beautiful. I don't know what that dog's name is.
Are you working?
Yeah, but I'm talking to you.
Okay.
Because I don't ever get to see you because it's been cold.
Getting colder tomorrow.
I know, but then it's going to warm up. I'm ready to see you guys. I missed seeing you guys. Isn't that so sweet? So he keeps dog treats from Trader Joe's in his garage, and then when certain dogs walk by, he asks them if they want a treat and stuff like that. I love that. I love my neighborhood so much. But anyway, so they depose her, and they ask her all these questions. And the attorney that's defending her ex-boyfriend or her boyfriend, who she feels sorry for him, he even says, like, he didn't want to ask these questions, but he has to ask these questions about her addiction. And he tries to play it down like, I mean, he even says afterwards, well, I won't tell you in case you watch it. It's such a good documentary, but like, they ask him, like, do you think he's innocent? The attorney is like a really decent guy. I'm like, why'd you ever take this case? Honestly, like, cause he's like, when he deposed her, he said it was the worst day of his entire life. Like, he just was glad it was done. He didn't want to do it. But he's like asking her, he's like, what did you have on that morning? She's laying in a hospital bed, okay, with like feeding tubes, oxygen tube, like, her entire face, hair, everything is burnt. Like, she's 80% burnt, right? Gasping for air. And he's like, what did you have on that morning? And she's like, sir, I don't remember. And he's like, you don't remember what you put on that morning? She's like, no. And he was like, would it be fair to say that you don't have a very good recollection of what happened that day, that your memory has been compromised by your burn? She goes off. She's like, but very, I mean, like, in, you know, very subtle way. She's like, sir, I've been burned in 95% of my body. I'm sorry if I don't remember specific details. She's like, but when you're in as much pain, I mean, you can tell, like, he is so uncomfortable doing this deposition. Like, I don't know why he even took the case. I don't know if he was, like, appointed to take the case. I don't remember them saying that in there. And then she has 2 daughters, and they're so sweet. And they're angry. Like, they're pissed, you know? Like, it really shows the anger part of grieving. Like, it was so fantastic that it showed them in there. And then she has this brother, and it's just, like, the whole family aspect is so cool. And he is Down syndrome. He's part of the Special Olympics. Or he has Down syndrome. He's part of the Special Olympics. And he's, you know, they're always showing him, like, doing, like, Special Olympics and stuff like that. And he plays guitar, and he sings Let It Be. He always has a Beatles t-shirt on. And he calls her, because her name's Judy. And he calls her, I think it's Judy Malinowski. And he calls her Sister Judy. And so he, like, you know, Sister Judy said to me, whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And he sings that, like, throughout the whole show. It's so, you guys... And, like, just such profound wisdom comes from him. Like, at the end, he says something, like, they end on him. And he says, I always think of Judy as a hero. Judy would want to be known as a hero. Like, I just, like, it just was, like, so this is why I can't watch some of these shows sometimes. Like, I'm sitting there bawling it, watching this, right? So, anyway, it is a powerful, powerful documentary. So, I watched that, and then I watched one episode of... the 3rd season. I mean, I'm laughing because these true crimes is too much sometimes. I watched the 1st episode of the 3rd season of Murder Under the Friday Night Lights, and it was about this. None of that I'm laughing about is funny, but it's funny because of how I'm thinking about it. Hey, how are you? It's good to see you. But it was about this cheerleader. She was real wild, so she had to go move her senior year with her uncle, like 3 towns away. Her name was Natasha, but she was from Texas, and she kind of looked like this female impersonator from back in the day that won, like, Miss Continent. I don't think she won Miss Continental. She won, like, Miss USA. Her name was Natasha Edwards, but she was from Texas, and she kind of looked like her a little bit. I don't know why. It was just so, anyway, but she came back home for, like, this party around graduation. She'd been, like, a cheerleader at the school, and she wanted to see, like, her old friends and stuff like that. And so she, went crazy. I mean, I love it, but it's not, like, you know, great for filming. I mean, people are like, get a mic! I wouldn't even know how to use a mic. I don't know how to sync all that up together. I feel like every YouTuber I've ever talked to has been like, Peter, you need to get a mic. And I'm like, I don't even know what to do with a mic. Should I get a mic? I guess I should get a mic. I don't know what to do with it, though. But anyway, there's some of my favorite neighbors from outside the neighborhood. They're not even looking over here. His name's Peter. That's her husband. And he has white hair, too, but he's about 10 or 15 years older than me. But they're really nice. They have a beautiful home out there. Not my favorite house, but she's friends with the woman that lives in my favorite house. But anyway, it is like getting really windy. So this Natasha girl, she's already graduated. It's her senior, I think it's 1992. It was May 5th or May 9th or May 8th of 1992. And she goes to this party, and she gets in a fight with this girl because she liked this boy, and now this girl's dating this boy, and so she gets in a fight with this girl. The girl had that straight up hairdo that all my friends had back in the day, where you hold your bangs up with a comb and you like a hair, like a hair dryer, and you go shh, and the bangs just went straight up like that. Hey, how are you? He just walks by with his hand up like that, just waving. Do you guys remember that? Like, what we call it, state fair hair back in the day? When all of this would be huge and then the back would be flat. Do you remember that hairdo that all the girls had back in the day? The claw, the state fair hair claw. No, you call it that. She had one of those. And real sad. Like, the rest of it was like, it was like the roots were like black, and then it was all this was like yellow blonde, and then it was just like real flat and curled under, and then this was just like as tall as this. It was that hairdo, the girl that beat her ass. But anyway, her name was Cindy. Cindy, well, I shouldn't say because she never got convicted of the crime, but her name was Cindy, and she was in love with this guy named Jim. They looked like everybody that I knew in high school because it was 1992. So anyway, she was at this party. Well, then Cindy, they kept on saying she liked to drive fast. She had a Camaro. Not Cindy, Natasha. Natasha, who liked to drive fast, she had a Camaro. Her half-brother, he was a big part of it. She takes off, and at 3:30 in the morning, they don't see her. She never comes home. They report her missing. This was so weird. They towed her car to this towing place, and then her mom's going through the car and looking through it and stuff like that. And she looks in the back, and she's like, "Oh, an animal must have gotten this car because there's bones back there." That's such a weird first of all that you would even think that. I think it's weird that nobody caught on that they thought they didn't think it was weird that the mom thought that she's looking in the back seat of the car. She's literally seen her daughter the day before. What's her daughter keeping a dead animal in the back seat of her car? And she looks back there and she goes, "Oh, an animal! I see small bones. An animal must have gotten there." Well, an animal didn't get in the car and rot overnight. And so, hey, how are you? And so, she starts looking closer and she sees the skull and she realizes her daughter has been burned up and put in the back seat of the car. Well, they never solved the thing, right? Because it is so windy, you guys. I don't even know if you can hear me or not. The table's blowing in the wind and everything. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many roads can a man walk down? My mom used to listen to that all the time. God, I love that song. I love the Peter, Paul, and Mary version of it. I love the Joan Baez version of it. Mostly, I love the Bob Dylan version of it. Actually, the concert at Bangladesh, when he sings Blowing in the Wind, the times they are changing. Oh my God, best, back to back. Concert for Bangladesh, look it up. It's fantastic. So anyway, so this case goes unsolved for 20 or 30 years. And her half-brother even says, when a case goes unsolved, so it's apparently this cover-up of all these rich people and politicians that lived in this small town of Livingston, Texas, is where it was called. And so they covered it up, apparently. They think all these people at this party. Well, there was something called a gas drip or something, or an oil drip that was the accelerant for the car catching on fire. So then there's this one friend of hers, and I lived for her because she was somebody that I would be friends with. Her name was Kelsey. She had been her childhood friend all through high school and stuff like that. And she's sitting in this chair the whole time, and they're interviewing her, and you can tell she's a smart, she knows her stuff, right? And so this guy comes on and he becomes the sheriff. Well, he grew up one town over, so he opens up the case in 2021 or 2020 or something like that. And he was there was never a murder to be solved because she was never murdered to begin with. They tested this Camaro, and he goes through this whole thing, right? And he's we went out and took a Camaro out there. It sank in the mud. You can't open the door, so she just couldn't get out of the car, and the exhaust was stuck, and all this kind of stuff. And he says this whole thing, and you're buying it, right? You're oh, well, that makes so much sense. There really was never a murder or anything like that. Those neighbors of mine that I used to go to the pool with, they're either going somewhere or they're coming home. I can't tell what they're doing. I feel they're going. Is he putting the car in the garage? They're putting the car in the garage. He's going somewhere. Yeah, they're coming home. They were unloading. I didn't even know if they were gone. They were unloading a lot of stuff. They must be one of those snowbirds that's coming home, But anyway, so I'm watching this, and this detective, real nice guy, real good looking guy, right? And he's probably like my age. And he's going through this whole thing. He's like, yeah, there really was never a murder. And it's like, I'm looking at the time on it, and there's like 5 minutes or 4 minutes left of the show. And I'm like, oh, so what the murder solved was there was no murder. And he goes and he explains this whole thing and all this kind of stuff, right? And they go to her friend. Her friend's sitting there, and she goes, bullshit. She goes, why was she in the back seat? She goes, she couldn't open the door, but she couldn't roll down a window. Why didn't she roll down a window? Why didn't she kick out the window? Why didn't she kick out the windshield? Why didn't she kick out the back window and crawl out? She goes, and where was the accelerant that started the fire? And they go back and they start firing all these questions to this guy. And he's like, I don't know. We never looked into that. We never got an answer. And she's like, and then they go back to her and she goes, it's bullshit. It was a cover-up. It was all a cover-up. And I'm like, oh my God, it was all a cover-up. Like, they were right from the very beginning. And he's part of the cover-up. They prove in this show by his testimony. I mean, you should see him when they ask him the questions about the accelerant. He looks caught. And he goes, I don't know. We don't have an answer for that. And she's like, it's bullshit. She's like, she did not die, like, of natural causes. Like, she was murdered. Like, and she was like, and she got into a fight with that Cindy, and they covered it up. And, because they insinuate that it was like a dad or a grandpa or somebody that, like, covered it up and whatever. It's just, it was a lot. And then they show the trailer for all the episodes of the season. So I'm going to watch some of that tonight when Alex is out to dinner and stuff like that. But I kind of feel like watching a movie. I wanted to watch a recovery movie last night. And so I was like Googling like the best. Oh, I bought a bunch of books last night. That's one of the things I did. I know, I bought more books by the pool. Well, so one of the books that I bought, or one of the books that I had like years ago, there were two books that when like I remember when I came out, and there was like this gay bookstore here in Indianapolis. I don't even remember what it was called. It was real small, but everybody would go there. They'd get books and stuff like that. It wasn't like a dirty gay bookstore. We had those too, but this was like a bookstore. It was like off of East and Massachusetts Avenue in downtown Indianapolis. It was open for a long time, but we would go there and get books, like those of us that like to read. And there were a lot of like books that were coming out that were famous. Like there was a book called Pete and Tim, I think. And so one of my friends had that book and then was like, oh, it was so good, and gave it to me. Well, I just found it down in my basement the other day. There was another book, and it was about this woman that was friends with all these gay guys and would go out. And I think it was during like the AIDS epidemic, and it was called Hag. You know, the F word and Hag. And it was real popular at that time too. And I was actually going to look up that one because I can remember, like, my girlfriends that, like, lived with all my gay guy friends and stuff like that. Like, they all read that book and they loved it and passed it around to each other. So last night I was like, good gay literature to read by the pool. And so I bought, like, 10 books. Most of them I had never heard of before, even heard of the authors. A couple of them I had. I think, like, the last gay book that I will, like, author written was, I mean, there have to have been one that I listened to on Audible, but the last one that was The Gilded Razor by Sam Lansky that I remember, which was a memoir of his life and addiction and things like that. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say about that show. They Set Her on Fire or whatever it was called. Was that because she had this hair, the doctors stopped prescribing the medication to her, so she was buying on the street, and then this boyfriend was buying her, and they were actually talking about, he didn't use drugs at all, but like he would get these women hooked on drugs, and that's like one thing, and I was not aware of this, which is interesting in the world that I live in, that I have never heard of this before, that men that are abusers often will get women hooked. I mean, I guess I did know this because of like pimps and things like that, but they'll get women hooked on drugs and supply the drugs to them as a way of like further control and trapping them, which makes total sense. But I guess I just like, as far as personal stories, I haven't heard a lot of that, which is weird because I've had a lot of friends of mine that worked on the streets and, you know, things like that. But so she became a heroin addict. Well, they tried to like paint this picture of her that because she was a heroin addict, she didn't deserve to be, you know, not that she deserved to be put on fire, but that maybe, like, it kind of kept on going back to the stigma of she got what she deserved. She even felt that. And, like, going through the testimony where the other attorney, like, it compromised her health because her mental health, her mother says, went back to this place, like, did I deserve this? It's that internalized stigma of being an addict or an alcoholic that you live with for your entire life. I don't care how sober you are, you know? I've been sober 29 years and I still have some of that in my head. So, anyway, I went through and I Google searched all these movies. These are the movies. This one is called Halfway House Christmas. It's on Tubi. It's got like these people that live in this halfway house. I've never heard of this before. Look, halfway house Christmas. Has anybody ever heard of that? I haven't, but it sounds like something I would love. And then Jacinta. Here, I'll just show you guys these. I actually saw this documentary, but I didn't know anything about what it was about. Jacinta follows her mother in and out of jail, trying to break free of an inherited cycle of drug addiction and incarceration. Upon release, she hopes to reconnect with her young daughter. I'm going to watch that one. It came out in 2020. It's a documentary. It looks great. And then Clean Slate. Some of these I've never heard of. Two friends in a Southern drug recovery program struggle to come to terms with their addiction and mental illness by making a film about the pain they've caused their families. That is on Tubi. Jacinta is on Hulu. Halfway House Christmas is on Tubi. I'm telling you guys are sleeping on Tubi if you don't have it. It's free. It's fantastic. And then Smashed, which came out in 2012, which I think is like one of the books that I have like 2 books of, and I didn't realize that the camera stopped. I didn't even know it. I don't know if this is the movie that's made from the book, but anyway, it's called Smashed, and it came out in 2012. You can watch it on YouTube. I guess you have to run it. Los Angeles school teacher Kate and her husband Charlie each have a drinking problem. Up to now, her life seems like one big boozy party, but her latest drinking binge catches up to her at work, and she later spends the night alone on the street. Kate now realizes that she has hit rock bottom. She agrees to attend Alcoholics Anonymous meetings with the school's vice principal, and Nick takes her first step on the challenging road to sobriety. And then 28 Days, because I was saying I was wanting to watch that. That's apparently on Netflix. And then Ben is Back with Julia Roberts. I don't think I've ever seen this. 19-year-old, this is on Tubi as well. 19-year-old Ben Burns, it says thriller, unexpectedly returns to his family's suburban home on Christmas Eve. Ben's mom, Holly, is relieved and welcoming but wary of her son's drug addiction. Over a turbulent 24 hours, new truths are revealed, and a mother's undying love gets put to the test as Holly does everything in her power to keep Ben clean. The Year of the Dog. It's about somebody that's sober. Troubled alcoholic develops a special bond with a stray dog. I've never heard of that before. Recovery Boys. I've never heard of this one. 4 men support each other as they try to rebuild their lives. I feel like I have heard of this one. I started watching it and I couldn't get into it. It's on Netflix. And then some of the other ones that were on there that I love are like Bobby Joe. That's on Amazon. It's a true story about a woman that gets sober and then she starts these halfway houses. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I love that. When a Man Loves a Woman is one of my favorites. Clean and Sober. It had a lot on there like The Lost Weekend, Days of Wine and Roses. I don't love those old ones. What were some of the other ones that I've watched through the years? Anonymous People. I didn't love Anonymous People. It was okay. Here, I'll pull it up, sobriety movies, and then I'll tell you which ones that I've seen that I like the best. I mean, like 28 Days is like it's corny in parts, but I have to tell you, it's very true to how treatment is. Oh, this one. What was this one called? This was so good. 4 Good Days, and it's with Glenn Close. I just watched that last year, I think. And it's where her daughter's trying to get on Suboxone, and she has to wait for it to be out of her system. And I think a lot of people don't know that. They just think, oh, they're Suboxone addicts and whatever. But, like, when you get off of opioids, like, they want your levels to drop so they can raise them up on Suboxone. It's a deeper explanation than that. But anyway, so most, like, opioid addicts, heroin addicts, have to, like, drop off, like, stop using so that they can be put on this program. But a lot of people don't know that. Clean and Sober, love the movie Clean and Sober. A Beautiful Boy. Beautiful Boy was great. I didn't love it nearly as much as the movie, or the book. The book was fantastic. 28 Days. See, some of these movies I've never heard of before. When Love Is Not Enough. Well, When Love Is Not Enough is about Bill and Lois Wilson. If you know, you know. The Anonymous People. Being Charlie. I've never heard of this one. The drug-addicted son of a California politician finds romance with a fellow patient in rehab. Being Charlie. You can watch it on Tubi. All these movies are on Tubi. T-U-B-I. I'm telling you, you're missing out on Tubi. You know one movie that Tanya tells me all over and over and over again I need to see is Flight with Denzel Washington. You know, I've never seen that. I do love Denzel Washington. Jacinta. Oh, what's this one? Russell Brand. I've heard him speak about addiction a couple times. In Their Shoes. Requiem for a Dream. Fantastic. But it shows, like, the dark side of addiction. I'll tell you, who's the woman that's in that? Why can't I think of her name? She is so fantastic. That plays the mother in there. She gets addicted to pain pills. Ellen Burstyn. That scene, when she starts imagining she's on, like, that talk show or whatever, and she's on those diet pills, and it's like, I mean, that is the real deal right there. A Star is Born with Lady Gaga. And Bradley Cooper, do we consider that a recovery movie? I mean, I know that there's, like, drugs and, you know, mental health and stuff like that. Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage is probably one of the truest movies about addiction ever, but it's just sad about him wanting to drink himself to death. What is this movie from 1962? Oh, Days of Wine and Roses. See, my mom loved those movies. I don't love it. Paw Paw Land. What's this? Set in Arkansas in the late 1990s. This actually looks good. Troubled teen Matthew is abusing alcohol and drugs. Desperate to break the cycle, his mother sends him away for a summer of sobriety and honest work in his grandfather's place in the Ozark Mountains. That's on Tubi as well. They're all on Tubi. Don't worry, he won't get far. I looked up that one last night. I don't know anything about it. Where's this Bobby Joe one? I wanted to tell you guys what the title of it was called. Bill W., Crazy Heart. What's the New High? Oh, this is a documentary. An ex-Army Ranger who runs a homeless shelter for addicts in Seattle leads an expedition up one of the most treacherous mountains in North America. Oh, that sounds good. Guess what? It's on Tubi. Oh, Drugstore Cowboy with Matt Dillon. Oh my God, so good. Bob Hughes is the leader of a family of drug addicts consisting of his wife, Diane Kelly Lynch, and another couple who feed their habit by robbing drugstores as they travel across the country. We used to watch this in treatment. After a tragedy, because it's got at the very end of it, oh no, that's the one with Leonardo DiCaprio, about the famous writer. He's actually in it at the very end of it. What was that movie called? What's Thanks for Sharing? A recovering sex addict, Mark Ruffalo, tries not to fall off the wagon as he woos a new girlfriend. Gwyneth Paltrow feels the need to express her rampant sexuality. Oh, When a Man Loves a Woman. I love that movie so much. There's a bunch of them. Rachel Getting Married. I've been told to watch that forever. I haven't. Where is this one? This Bobby Joe one. It is so good. It's on Amazon Prime. Here it is. Bobby Joe. Oh, it's on Tubi now. Under the Influence. I cannot believe all these movies are for free. All you do is download the app, Tubi, T-U-B-I. Bobby Joe Reed uses her testimony as a blueprint of hope to transform lives and provide keys to recovery in Kansas City's most dangerous neighborhood. All watch options. Tubi, Amazon. I guess you can watch it for free with Amazon, too. Sling, Fandango, Plex. God, it was so good. So I think tonight I might watch a recovery movie or something like that. I don't know. So I thought I'd go in here and read a couple comments. Oh, I haven't read this one. Okay, somebody said, okay, I have an idea, so hear me out. I see this on lots of different social media types, but for Peter Does Stuff or the vlog, you should totally let the nail salon wax and shape your brows on camera. LOL, let them trim them and wax them. That would be a hoot. Love you, Peter. Okay, now that will never be happening, first of all. So let me tell you the story. Okay, so first of all, when I go get my hair done, which I'm getting my hair done on Monday, she always like trims my eyebrows and stuff like that. I actually like, on me, I like a fuller eyebrow. I don't like them, I know, like some of my friends are like, oh my God, your eyebrows were so bushy. I like them bushy on me. I just like, that's just personally me. But I think I've told this story over here before. It was right before I was getting a passport picture taken. This is literally, you guys, like 20. So my ex and I started dating in 2001. So this is 23 years ago. Yeah, so Tanya, I was getting a passport picture taken. And so Tanya, we were at the pedicure place, the one that I just went to the other day. And she's like, oh, you need to let them do your eyebrows, wax your eyebrows. I was like, no, Tanya Jean, I'm not going to do it, whatever. And so anyway, this woman ended up doing it. I was so heavy at the time. It was so painful, okay? I went a couple times ago, I had my my nose hairs. Alex always gets his waxed. That's painful, but it's worth it. So anyway, but it was so funny because when I got my eyebrows waxed, it was literally like they were so thin, and I looked like a fat potato with little eyebrows just written on there. No, we're not doing that. That's not happening. There's some things that are just not happening. That's not one of them. Good idea for somebody else's channel. I think that's a fantastic idea, but that ain't happening over here. No, we're not doing that again. Okay, then Tia's comment about you're so ready for the pool. You can taste it. You're not supposed to drink pool water. Oh, here's my friend that always just walks by and goes like that. Oh, she just did it right now to my neighbor across the street. Okay, somebody said, I just watched Burden of Proof on Max. It was a really good true crime documentary. Is Burden of Proof about the guy whose sister goes missing and he thinks it's her parents? I feel like I watched that one. Burden of Proof. I'll know as soon as I see the guy because he drives real nice cars like Porsches and Mercedes through the whole thing. HBO. Yep, that's it. That was a good documentary. That was a really good documentary. You don't really find out what happened at the end, though, do you? But that was a great documentary. I don't know, for some reason that kind of reminded me of The Keepers a little bit. Okay, so this person put on here, why is my comment blocked? All I did was bring up Miranda lyrics. What is going on there? Her music camp, here I'm going to read it to you because you want it so much to be seen over here. Her music camp video is on YouTube for 8 years. She has not apologized about the uncle relationship lyric. It's very detailed there, not okay. Who's blocking me for a public opinion on an old video? Then they leave another comment right after that. Miranda Camp music video, my comments were deleted. Your comments were deleted because you've left the comment in I think like 4 to 6 to 7, 8 videos now. Okay, this is a vlog channel. I went back and I looked at your comments, and the only comments you've left are about me covering Miranda Sings camp video. Okay. This is not a drama channel. I don't talk about Miranda Sings or Colleen Ballinger over here. Just make it very, very clear. I left up the first 3 to 4 or 5 comments, okay? The problem is this, is that there are people that watch my vlog channel that don't like to watch the Colleen Ballinger videos because that's triggering for them. They don't really want to know a lot about Colleen Ballinger or Miranda Sings. It's not triggering for them because they like her. It's triggering for them because they have personal experiences that are similar to that, okay? So that's not a comment that, it's always interesting to me when somebody leaves a comment, like if I do like a Peterisms video and the video is about like a meditation I read about butterflies, and somebody leaves a comment on there and says, you should try chocolate shakes. And I'm like, are they like thinking they're watching my review channel and they commented on the wrong video? Or like, it's very confusing to me. But when you've left 4, 6, 8 comments all about me wanting, like, it's not even, like, they started out like, you need to cover this, and now it's just putting it out here, okay? You're just letting people know that the Miranda Sings music video is out there. Well, we know that, okay? And I appreciate the comment. Actually, the first time that I saw it, like 2 weeks ago, I thought, oh, well, maybe I'll go over and I'll cover that on my drama channel. I appreciate the comment. This is just not the place for it. I have a drama channel for there that you've never left that comment on my drama channel, not once. And you said on here, why is my comment blocked? You're not blocked. You're able to continue to leave comments. I'm not going to block you for that. But I don't want it triggering for other people, okay? So I don't have a problem with people asking questions like out of the blue, like you're just sitting there watching my vlog and going, oh, has Peter ever been to France? And then you say, has Peter ever been to France? Like, that kind of is fitting over here, you know? Or like somebody was asking me about, like, somebody was asking me about meetings on here, which would actually be a good Peterisms video, but that's something that I would talk about over here too. But we don't like need to, and to leave a comment one time and be like, hey, like, do you think you might talk on the, because people do that quite a bit over here. They'll be like, hey, on your drama channel, this might be a good topic. One time, okay? But 6 to 8, 9 times of leaving the same comment is like, you're really wanting me to cover this. And I will be honest with you, at some point, I feel like, are they wanting me to read this comment on video because they feel like I'm going to fall into some kind of trap by reading it on video? Or are they just, like, really insistent about that? Because I have 2 email addresses. I have Instagram and I have Twitter. A lot of people all the time send me messages on, you know, all the time. I mean, I could go through the vlog Tia sends me stuff all the time on Instagram, and I respond to a lot of it. Sometimes it's hard for me to get to a lot of it, but she sends me a lot of stuff. A lot of people do. Nightmare Bliss sends me a lot of stuff. Ask her. I don't respond to half of the stuff she sends me because I just don't, I can't get to all of it. But I appreciate it. There's multiple places to send me topics that you want me to talk about on the drama channel. This is just not the place. And the reason why is I don't really care. But there are a lot of people that are emotionally triggered by what the victims of Colleen Ballinger went through, and they do not want to have to read that. Not because they're fans of Colleen Ballinger, but because they have experienced similar things themselves. So they don't want to see it. They don't watch those videos of mine. They'll come over to my drama video and they'll say, watching your video, giving you a view, but I cannot watch this because of personal issues. I'm trying to be protective of the audience. I don't have a problem with you leaving that comment. In fact, on my drama channel, if you want to leave it every single day over there until I talk about it, because there's some people that do that on my drama channel. They'll be like, are you going to talk about this? Or are you going to talk about that? That's fine on my drama channel. Leave it every single day. And I'm not going to block you, obviously, on the vlog channel. And I've heard you. And I haven't decided if I'm going to make that video or not. And I appreciate the suggestion. But this just isn't the place for it. So, just want to make that clear. But no, leave it on my drama video all day, channel all day. You can leave it every single day until I talk about it. There are people over there. People do, this music request, they keep on asking for the hero song. What's the song? I think it's from Dirty Dancing or whatever. They keep on every day. They say, I'm going to comment about this every day until you sing it. And then they put LOL on there. That's fine. Do that. I don't care. And that doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? But, like, no, not on my vlog channel. That's not where that comment goes. And I'm not trying to say that to be rude or anything like that. That's just not where it goes. And in all honesty, I mean, you can go back and you can look. I let the comment go through 4 or 5 times. And then I was like, okay, this is enough. Like, and I was trying to kind of send a message, like, okay, like, I heard you, I saw your comment, like, you know, I didn't want to comment back and be like, hey, like, I saw it, leave it on my drama channel. But if you have suggestions for any of my other channels, because I have, you know, 6 other channels, email me, send it to me on Twitter, send it to me on Instagram. If you don't have Twitter, or it's always interesting to me when people say, I have YouTube, but I don't have any social media. Well, you have email? Send it to me on email, you know? Or put on the comment and be like, you got YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel. You don't even have to subscribe to my drama channel to leave the comment over there, you know? But anyway, that's just, I wanted you to understand why that comment was deleted. It wasn't personal. It was nothing about you whatsoever. I appreciate the suggestion. I'm just trying to be protective of people that don't want to see that stuff over here. You know what I mean? Okay, and I was trying to be better last night. I was going through all my channels and trying to respond to some comments. So, okay, somebody said, can you drop the name of the video your source sent you to watch about Herb, please? You've got me obsessed. About Herb Baumeister. Okay, that's funny that you asked that. You need to go over to my drama channel. No, I'm not going to say that. Because I don't usually get that question. What is this? Okay, I got to go through here and look. 1 second for my source. Well, I'll tell you what it was. It was The Haunting of Fox Hollow Farms, but these people watch it. And then, so the 2 things I would tell you to watch are The Haunting of Fox Hollow Farms. It's where, you can watch it on YouTube for free. It's where they have psychics come out and watch it. The other one is the A&E investigation on Herb Baumeister. It's called, like, The Husband's Secret or something like that. But if you just put in A&E on YouTube and Herb Baumeister or Fox Hollow Farms, it'll pull it up. It's the first thing that pulls up. That's probably the best source material for it, other than my videos. Just saying. I actually probably am the most current of all of it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Why can't I find it? Well, you can. It was somebody watching the Fox Hollow Farms video, is what it was. Here, we're just gonna do this. That was the easy way to find it. Okay. Here it is. Where? Oh, here it is. No. Oh, that was somebody else. I don't know. I'll have to find it. But what it is... You know what? Maybe I can just look it up on YouTube. Hold on a second. Because I noticed it was longer than the original of Haunting of Fox Hollow Farm. Okay. So when you go in here, it's an hour and 4 minutes is the original. Here's another one. That's the same one. Here's an interview with Herb Baumeister about an accident that happened like right in front of his house. Does anybody watch this Mr. Ballin guy? I kind of like him. Oh my god, then my videos come up when you put in Herb Baumeister. I think that was what it was. I think it's just Fox Hollow Farms. If you go in there and watch it, The Haunting of Fox Hollow Farms. Oh, here's the pool. They show the pool. Anyway, The Haunting of Fox Hollow Farms. I just literally put it up and all this stuff comes in here. But the first one is the actual one. The Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters and all that kind of stuff, they went there too. And then the other one is the A&E special. But I'll tell you one of the best ones. And here, let me tell you if I can find it. WRTV, because that's Indianapolis. Oh, here it is. If you WRTV and it comes up Fox Hollow Farms. And they put out a documentary. Here it is. It's the first thing that comes up. If you put in, oh, the battery's going to die. But if you put in WRTV, Fox Hollow Farms, it's the first thing that comes up. And it's Forgotten at Fox Hollow Farms. It came out 6 months ago. It's an hour long. It's fantastic. So, yeah. One last comment. Let me read really quick. Who put it? Let's see. We'll have to answer some of these because my battery is dying any second. Elise put up peace sign, so I'll just say peace to, oh my god, I almost did the middle finger. I'll say peace to you guys all. I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Saturday. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I'll respond to some more comments in the next couple of videos, but the battery is flashing. Oh my god, I'm at an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. I can't believe it. Anyway, I love you guys so much. I hope that you are having a magically amazing Saturday and a very cozy weekend. And stay inside, stay warm, stay safe. Stay cozy. Not K-O-Z-E, but C-O-Z-Y. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you're watching and reading in the comment section below. True crime recommendations are greatly appreciated. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.